Zack Carter, Garland's 11th ranked underdog, had missed 5 straight shots. His opponent just buried a 2-pointer, and it looked like the match was slipping away. The pressure was crushing, but then something unforgettable happened. Zack answered with a move so smooth, so brilliantly executed, it earned its own name, the Carter Shake. In 7 seconds and 7 dribbles, Zack Carter had just become a Rimpage legend. Welcome to What Would You Do, the show where we break down exceptional basketball highlights to reveal what worked and why. Through detailed analysis, we uncover the strategies, tactics, and techniques players use to become master of the moment and go from this to this. I'm your host, Patrick Johnson. I'm excited to get started. Let's open today's case. Welcome back. We're doing this. We're going to look at a case file. This is Kechawn Reed versus Zack Carter. We're going to see the file. We're going to see the move. We're going to show it to you, break it down, show you what worked, show you why it worked. And then we're going to put you in the hot seat and ask, what would you do in this situation? I love this type of thing. And I love being able to share my findings with you all. Hopefully this will help you improve your game. So we're going to look at this case file. This is case file Reed versus Carter G1.R6.010123. The match ID here is RVC010123G1. Subject, the Carter Shake. This match took place January 1st, 2023, and I am your examiner, Patrick Johnson. Here we go. Let's meet our two players. Kechawn Reed is a player representing the city of Dallas. He is currently ranked 4th in Rimpage. He has a record of 32-16 and a rating of 1116.9. His opponent this day was Zack Carter, whose rating is 1025.9. He has a record of 9-7, represents the city of Garland, Texas, and he's ranked 11th overall. I remember this match. I remember this day. We had several matches this day. Here's an interesting story. Leading up to this day, we had a match, and I did a post on Facebook about it, and in the post I said, do you think you could beat either of these guys? And someone responded and said, yeah, I can beat both of them. And there was this back and forth, and we said, okay, well, show up. We're going to be playing at this gym on Saturday. And he showed up. Devondre showed up, and he played. Austin didn't show up that day, but Devondre did get a chance to play Spencer, and he beat him. He beat Spencer. But then they played another match, and then another one, and another one. And I think Spencer ended up winning more of the matches that day. But that was fun. That was fun. Devondre responded to that post on Facebook, and then he actually came to the gym, and he and Spencer challenged each other. But this particular match, Kechawn versus Zack, this is one of the matches we had that day, and there was a very special moment in that match. Happened in the 7th round. I think our record said 6th round. It was actually in the 7th round where this move took place that we're going to look at, and it just blew everyone away. As soon as he did it, it instantly became one of those moments that you don't forget. At the time, Zack was one of our newer players, so I hadn't had a chance to see a lot of what he could do. So this move that he does, this is a showstopper that we're about to see here. So you're about to have your first look at this. The legendary move, the legendary Carter Shake. We're going to let you have a look at it, and then we're going to break it down. Here we go. Ready? I don't know why he didn't dunk that, but the move leading up to it. First of all, do you understand what you saw? It happened so fast, but don't worry, we're going to break it down. You will fully understand what happened here when we're done. First, I want to introduce you to some of the tools we have in our lab that helps us to analyze these highlights. So this icon right here, the circle with the 2 circles on the left and the right and the 2 stems, what you're looking at is a player on the court from top view. It's just a little icon that represents a player. Whenever you see D/, anywhere in Rimpage, D/ represents the defensive player. So this is our defensive player here. And anytime you see P/, that is a reference for the offensive player. So let's set up our scene here. Zack, check the ball up at G6. What you're looking at here is a grid that helps us to map out action where it took place on the court. So we have our shot boxes, which are This one, this is a 3-point shot box. Any shot you take and make from this spot is worth 3 points. The other one is over here, 3-point shot box where our defender is. And this one at half court is a 4-point shot box. So Rimpage has shot boxes. We play to 12 by 1s and 2s, but if you make a shot from inside of one of the shot boxes, you get extra points for that. Half court shot is worth 4. These two on the wings are worth 3. And if you tap the backboard or the rim when you score a dunk or layup, that's worth 2 points. So we play by 1s and 2s with the exception of shot boxes. A lot of players, most players, when they check the ball up, they're standing at F6 here. They're right there at the top of the key. But when we introduced shot boxes, players started backing up a little. Ashton will actually stand in that shot box. Quite a few players who have adapted the 4-point shot will check the ball up from the shot box. It's a strategic move that they're doing. They want to start off their possession already threatening you with that 4-point shot. These shot boxes open up new strategy options for players. So we see Zack, who has backed up to G6 instead of starting off at F6. And let's see where Kechawn was. Now this is standard aggressive defense. Notice you cannot fit another player between the two of them. In this case, the defender's right up in your face if you're on offense. Defenders play different styles. They have different levels of aggression, but ultimately their goal is the same, is to contain you inside of, let's say, an imaginary box. And this is what that box might look like for a defender who's playing aggressive defense. He's right up in your face. He's contained you in a short box. I'm sure you've seen this before. This is lazy defense. This is a guy who's only concerned about stopping dunks and layups. He's going to sit in the key. He's giving you a tall box here, a lot of space. This is a guy who's saying, I don't think you can make the outside shot, so I'm going to give it to you. So we have the short box, tall box, and what Kechawn decided to do was play somewhere in between. So we'll see him contain Zack in a medium-sized box. Now, you can fit maybe one player between the two of them. For an athletic player, this is ideal because not only do you allow enough space to recover if your opponent goes left or right, but you're also close enough to block his shot if he pulls up from that spot right there. So this is a medium-sized box, and what Kechawn wants to do is contain Zack in that box. Wherever Zack goes, he wants to shadow him so that he's always in that box. In other words, as a defender, you want to stay between your opponent and the basket. First thing Zack does is he threatens to go left. He uses a technique called Deja-Blew. It's Deja-Blew by you because they use it to blow by you. And the way it works is they hit you with something, a threat, but they don't finish it. He doesn't turn it into a full-scale attack. He hits you with a threat, but he doesn't attack. Then he hits you with the same threat, but he doesn't attack. Then he hits you with the same threat, but he still doesn't attack. And what this does is it creates a pattern in your mind where you're thinking, okay, it's the threat. You see that threat again, but you're thinking it's not going to be an attack because the last two were not an attack. The last three were not an attack. And what it does is it lowers your defenses. It makes you less alert and then catches you by surprise when one of those threats indeed does turn into an attack. That's Deja-Blew. Zack uses it masterfully here. When he first catches the ball, he's holding the ball in front as if he's going to do a pull-up jump shot. And then he takes a step forward with the left foot, right there. Takes a step forward with the left foot. Kechawn adjusts the box just a little. You'll note Kechawn didn't really respond to this threat. It was a threat, but Kechawn didn't really respond to it. Nonetheless, it registers. And so that's the first step in Deja-Blew. So then Zack steps to the right, only one dribble, non-threatening. It's almost a lateral move where he stays in the G roll, except that when he turns to face up, now he's in the F roll. And he did all of this with one dribble. Kechawn makes the adjustment to keep him in the box. And this is where he makes another threat to go left. Steps forward right there, threatens to go left. Kechawn makes the adjustment. This is the second time he's threatened to go left. And then another horizontal move, and now he's in the E column. Notice how he's inching his way closer and closer to the basket here. And it's with the same move. Each time, threaten to go left, take one dribble right, turn to face the basket. Threaten to go left, take one dribble right, turn to face the basket. So this is the second time he's done this, but this time he turns and hits him with the Carter shake. Kechawn makes the wrong adjustment. And right there, Zack breaks containment. He breaks out of the box. Look at that line behind the defender. That line is the foot plane. If a player gets behind that, he takes your back. He's behind you now. This is a nightmare for defenders. You can feel it when a player does this to you. When he gets by you, you feel it. You're vulnerable, you're open to attack, and there's nothing you can do about it. This guy has gotten out of your box, and not only has he gotten out of your box, he's gotten behind you now. Kechawn quickly makes the adjustment, but it's too late. Box is not relevant anymore. Zack is already on his way to the basket. All Kechawn can do is watch, and then we get that beautiful finish there. Now we know where this happened on the court. So he goes from G6 to F7 to E8, turns, hits him with the Carter shake, and there's something else he did that we're going to discuss. Enters D8, and from there it's a diagonal to the basket. So here we go. Remember I told you Zack took a step forward, threatening left. So he's holding the ball as if he's going to shoot a jump shot. Look how Kechawn responds to that. Raises the right hand. This is a no-fly zone. He's saying, you're not going to get that shot. If you take that shot, I'm going to contest it. So that right hand establishes the no-fly zone, and Zack takes this left step. That's a threat. That's a threat to go left. That's the first step in Deja-Blew. Kechawn registers the threat. And then Zack takes a horizontal path to his right, one dribble, turns and faces the basket, and then another threat to go left. That threat registers. Kechawn responds by jumping back a little. Zack does it again. Horizontal to the right, turns to face the basket. Another threat. Kechawn registers, makes the adjustment, and then the crossover. Threatened to go left. Crossover says, I'm going right. Kechawn says, oh no, he's not going left, he's going right. And look at that. Confusion. Kechawn adjusts to take away the right. While he's adjusting, Zack goes left. This is the Carter shake. Through the legs. And right here is where he breaks containment. He breaks out of that box, gets Kechawn's back, sweeps the arm to the side. He's opened up this beautiful diagonal to the basket. And with his athleticism, strong finish, Kechawn can only watch as he becomes a highlight. Now, something else happens here that really makes this work. Zack created a speed advantage. Right there. Notice where the ball is. We have zones. From the floor to your knees, that's zone 1. From your knees to your hips is zone 2. Look where the ball is. The ball is above his hips. That's a zone 3 dribble. How long does it take the ball to go to the ground and then return to zone 3? A trip to the floor and up to zone 1 is much faster than a trip to the floor and up to zone 3. Not only does Zack lower his defenses with Deja-Blew, but then also there's this level change where he goes from a zone 3 to a zone 1. That means things are happening faster. He's picked up the pace. And what that means for a defender is you have more to process now and less time to do it. So look at this zone change. He goes from zone 1 dribble down to, look how low he gets here. Right there. That's a zone 1 dribble. He's dropped. He's gotten low so he can get that ball back faster and put it back on the floor in another direction. And this overwhelms the defender. Gives him too much to process and not enough time to process it. Is he going left? Is he going right? He's got to read a lot in a short amount of time. There's that ball on the left side, so he's going left. But then he crosses over here. Oh, crossover. Now he's going right. He's got me. I have to recover. But you can over-recover as a defender. Now, because that ball has returned to Zack's hand in zone 1, he can shoot it back to the floor in a new direction much faster. In fact, you'll see here that Zack is able to make multiple moves in the time it takes Kechawn to make one move. And that's how he broke containment. He broke it with a level change. He went from a zone 3 dribble down to a zone 1 dribble. But he didn't just do that. That already creates a speed advantage. The other thing he did is instead of taking a full step, he took 2 half steps. So he takes 2 half steps in the time it takes Kechawn to make 1 full step. All of this together creates a tremendous advantage, and that's how That's why he was able to break out of the box, to escape the box, and take Kechawn's back. But look at the 2 half steps he takes here. So he does the level change, and he combines that with 2 half steps. Right there. You see the 2 half steps enable him to take more steps than Kechawn is able to take in the same amount of time. So the level change combined with the 2 half steps comprise the Carter shake, overwhelms the defender. He set it all up with Deja-Blew. This is music. He's got Kechawn dancing to the music. He's supposed to be playing defense, but these beats have got him dancing to the music, and when you dance to the music, you gotta pay the piper. Beautiful. Beautiful. Let's look at it again. Step forward, threat, no attack. Dribble to the right 1 time. Set up Deja-Blew by repeating it. Threaten left, no attack. Dribble to the right. Let's do it again. Lowers his defenses. 2 half steps. Crossover, level change, music. This is music. He's laying down the beat here. And then athleticism. Beautiful left hand finish. Gorgeous move. Now to illustrate how to create speed with a level change, look at this animation of the guy dribbling. Imagine you're the defender and you're having to track and react to this. Pretty simple. But when you switch to a zone 1, notice how much faster you can dribble. Right there. And by increasing the speed, you can overwhelm the player. You can literally give him more information than he is able to process. Now there was a study done by Zack and Q Wang just this year in 2025. What they looked at was the impact of time pressure on decision making and visual search characteristics in basketball players. And their findings were published online on a website called Frontiers in Psychology. What they found was it is possible, because there are limits on how fast our brain processes information, it is possible to overwhelm the brain, to give it more to process than it is able to, and when that happens, mistakes occur. Things get missed. Details are not accounted for. What that means is, and this is fascinating, it's possible to literally become invisible by overwhelming our sense of sight, by pushing it to its limit and then beyond its limit, effectively flying under the radar. Here's an example of that. When I play the video again, count how many times the guy dribbles the ball. Here we go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This speed is not even close to your threshold, but you do have a threshold. There's a point at which he's dribbling so fast you can't keep track. And what that means is some of those dribbles go under your radar. You don't notice them. You can't respond to them. Do you get where I'm going with this? If you can't see it, you can't respond to it. So it's possible to overwhelm your defender with speed to the extent that you're doing things he can't see. You're doing things that are under his radar, and because he can't see them, he can't respond to them. Is that not fascinating? You can literally become invisible. There will be a new guy on the left side. See if you can count his dribbles. What's happening there is he has overwhelmed your brain by giving it more data than it can process. So some of those dribbles, maybe a lot of them, were not accounted for. This is invisibility. This is the scientific principle that Zacchaeus makes use of with the Carter shake, and that's why it worked. Now let's get an official diagnosis from your examiner, Patrick Johnson. Starting at G6, Zack deployed a move that has been called the Carter shake to score an uncontested layup on the left side at B5. He set up his attack using Deja-Blew to lower Kechawn's defenses, making him less alert. He then combined a change of pace to create the element of surprise and a level change to create the speed needed to give Kechawn more sensory data to process and less time to do it in, all in hopes of forcing him to make a mistake. It worked. Kechawn, thinking Zack was going to the right, jumped right while Zack went left, breaking containment and finding an open line of attack to the basket for the score. And there's your diagnosis. We're all good with that? Let's move on. Guys, tell me, how good do you think this move was? How impressive was this move? If you had to rate the skill level needed to pull off a move like this, what would you rate it? Let's have a look at our list of objectives, things that every good offensive player will do when he gets the ball. And each of these objectives has a point value. The player's effort and effectiveness will determine how many points he gets for that objective. So, first one is separation. As an offensive player, you get the ball, you want to create space, either for a jump shot or open up a line of attack to the basket. Do we see Zack make an effort to do that, and how effective was that effort? I think we absolutely do see him open up that line of attack to the basket. He uses the Carter shake to do it. What score would you give him? Total value is worth 10 points, and Zack gets all 10 points for me. Next one, attack. Did you launch a skillful attack? Anyone can throw the ball at the basket, but it takes skill to put together a move like the Carter shake to create that space, to create the line of attack to the basket, and then to take a decent shot when you get there. Launching a skillful attack is worth 20 points, and I give Zack 15 for this one. Next one, lead. You want to dictate the action. You don't want to always be responding and reacting. That means the other person is the aggressor. You definitely don't want this as an offensive player. You want to keep the defense reacting to what you're doing. Lead is worth 15 points. How many would you give him? I gave him 10 points. Next one is quality. There are two quality metrics here. Quality 1 is looking at where you are on the court when you take that shot. You develop skills that enable you to get to the spots you want to get to take the shots you want to take. Do we see that in Zack's move here? Does he use skill to get to a spot where he can take the shot he wants to take? Again, we're evaluating his effort and his effectiveness, and this one is worth 15 points, quality 1. I gave Zack all 15 points for this one. Next one is quality 2. You have to create the space that you need to take the shot you want to take using the form that is most effective for you. How well did Zack do that? That's quality 2. Out of 15 possible points, I gave him 13. And the last one, mastery. Did you display mastery? Did you display beauty, style? Beauty is the signature of mastery. In other words, you know someone is really, really good at what they do when they can look the way they want to look doing it. They're not just effective, they add style to what they're doing. Some people might call that showing off, but it really is a display of mastery because of the amount of skill required to infuse style so that you're not just doing the thing, you're doing it how you want to do it. That's mastery. That one has the highest point value. 25 points you get for mastery. And out of 25 points, I gave Zack 20. How many would you give him? That's a total of 83 points. And if we look below here at our legend, anything between 80 and 100 is a Grand Maximus. So this move, the Carter shake, was a Grand Maximus move. That's superior skill. Zack, congratulations on that. Grand Maximus. Thank you for giving us the Carter shake. We really enjoyed looking at this move. I love this move because there's so much to it. He didn't just do a crossover. He didn't just do a fake. He did some sophisticated stuff. He put together a combination of skills and moves. I think he deserves that Grand Maximus. This is a Grand Maximus move. And he did it in real time against a live defender. This wasn't scripted. In a real match that counted for ratings, rankings, stats. So congratulations, Zack. Grand Maximus for that move. Now let's look at the defense. Because it's possible for the offensive player to be effective, not so much because he's good, but because the defense is bad. So we want to look at the defense too. There are objectives that you want to achieve when you're on defense. The first one, worth 15 points, is push. You want to chase that offensive player away from the spot he wants to get to. How well did Kechawn push Zack away? Out of a total of 15 points, I rated his effort and effectiveness a 5. You can tell me what you would give him. Next one is deny. You want to take away favorite spots, take away favorite shots. This one is worth 10 points. Kechawn gets a 3. Next one is lead. Just like on offense, you don't want that offensive player to take the lead. You want to take the lead. You want to keep the offensive player reacting to you. That's worth 20 points. And for that,
We gave Kechawn a 5. He scores a 5 on that one. Next one, contain. On defense, you want to stay between the offensive player and the basket. You want to keep him in front of you, keep him in your box. You certainly don't want him crossing your foot plane and taking your back, which is what happens here. For contain, Kechawn gets 10. For about 90% of that possession, Kechawn succeeded in keeping Zack in his box. It's just as Zack started playing the music, Zack laid down that beat, had Kechawn dancing, and Zack escaped from the box and was able to get to the basket. You can let me know what you would give him. Next, for contest, you want to contest all shots. Attempt to block the shot. That's very simple, and it's worth 15 points. Kechawn was nowhere near the shot, thanks to the Carter shake. So Kechawn gets 4. Next one, separate. Offensive player wants to create space between him and the defender. The defensive player wants to create space between the offensive player and the ball. Separate that offensive player from the ball. That is the best defense you can play. Get the ball out of his hands, knock it away, block the shot, deflect, whatever. This objective has the highest point total because if you can do that, you've basically won the engagement. So 25 total points possible here. We gave Kechawn a 5. Total points, 32 points out of 100. And you can see on our legend that is active. So he was an active defender. What happens when you put below average defense up against a Grand Maximus offensive attack? Well, the Carter shake is what happens. And here we go. So now we ask, what would you do? You can choose whatever point of view you want. You can take the role of the defender and tell us what would you do? How would you stop the Carter shake? Or you can take the role of the offensive player and say, if a guy is guarding you the way Kechawn guarded, how would you attack that defense? What would you do? Tell us in the comments. Give us your point of view. Alright guys, we want to give you a stage so you can show us your basketball brilliance. Join Rimpage. It's $20 a month to become a Rimpage athlete, and you're automatically entered in the Battle Royale every month. We pay the top 5 finishers every month. Guys are getting paid. We have a website you can go to where you can use the calculator, put in a certain number of players, and you can see what the cash prize will be. Once you get 1,500 players, we unlock the city championship. Now you can compete for a city championship trophy. Guys, you can go all the way up to the world stage with this. No matter what city you're in, how small that city is, doesn't matter. Rimpage is your ladder to the world stage. You do that by winning your city championship, which puts you in the state or the regional tournament. You're already elevating out of your city. Now you're in the regional tournament. If you win that, now you're in the national tournament. You're on the national stage. If you win that, you're on the world stage at the Lions tournament, where you're competing to see who's the best in the world against the other national champions from all the other countries in the world. It all starts with Battle Royale. This is everyone against everyone. Just find, challenge, and beat the other players in your city. We'll update your stats, your rankings, your rating, and if you finish in the top 5, you're getting a cash prize. This is professional 1v1, and all you have to do is click to join. $20 a month, you're crossing the line over into the battle zone, where now it's you against everyone else. Have fun with it, guys. Alright, if you enjoyed watching Zack Carter shake, if you enjoyed watching Kechawn, these Rimpage players are not under contract. They play for the love. If you love them, show them some love. Just buy them a drink. $2, $3, $5, $500. It's up to you. You can go to the website listed here, coff.ee/RimpagePro1v1. You can make a donation. Tell us who that donation is for. This is $5 for Kechawn. This is $10 for Zack. Or buy a round of drinks. This is $20 for Rimpage, Zack, and Kechawn. If you like the work we do, creating a stage so players can show their talent, support the platform. We appreciate your support. Just be sure to tell us who you are so we can thank you, and you might even qualify for a special prize. Someone who makes a donation is going to get a surprise. You're going to get a special treat from Rimpage. So thank you for that. Zack represents the city of Garland. Kechawn represents the city of Dallas. Hey, if you're in those two cities and you love basketball, show these guys some love. Support their basketball journey. Rimpage has a lot of surprises and ways that we want to show appreciation to our fans. So thank you for your support. And that is our show. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.